Hi, welcome to Storytime with Gigi. Today we're going to be reading a Charlie Brown story by Charles M. Schulz called It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and this one has sound and music. So I'm hoping I read this well. There's Linus, this little pumpkin patch. It was a brisk autumn day, but it wasn't just any day. It was Halloween. Charlie Brown was busy raking leaves while Snoopy was busy playing in them.
Good grief.
Lucy stopped by with a football. "How about practicing some plays, Charlie Brown?" asked Lucy. "I'll hold the ball and you come running and kick it." "You must think I'm really stupid," replied Charlie Brown. "You just want me to come running up to the ball so you can pull it away and watch me fall flat on my back." "This time you can trust me," said Lucy, flashing a toothy grin. But Charlie Brown didn't believe her. "No," answered Charlie Brown. "No, no, and no." "Please, Charlie Brown," pleaded Lucy. "I have a signed document testifying that I will not pull the ball away." Charlie Brown grabbed the piece of paper and studied it. "It is signed. Well, I guess if you have a signed document in your hand, you can't go wrong. It looks like I'm really going to kick the football this year." With that, Charlie Brown backed up and charged. Just as he was about to kick the ball, Lucy pulled it away, and Charlie Brown fell flat on his back. "Arg!" Charlie Brown screamed in pain. Lucy picked up the piece of paper. Funny thing, this signed document was never notarized.
Good grief.
Meanwhile, Linus was inside writing an important letter. "Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night." Charlie Brown approached his friend. "What are you writing, Linus?" "It's the time of year to write a letter to the Great Pumpkin," answered Linus. "Who?" asked Charlie Brown, looking confused.
On Halloween night, Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all the children.
After Charlie Brown left, Linus continued writing his letter. "You must get discouraged because more people believe in Santa Claus than in you. Santa does get more publicity, and that might make you number 2, but that means that you really just need to try harder." Just then, Lucy appeared. "Oh, brother," moaned Lucy. "Linus, are you writing a letter to that stupid pumpkin again?" Linus nodded. "I'm the laughingstock of the neighborhood because every year my little brother writes a letter to the Great Pumpkin," cried Lucy and stormed off. Sally appeared just as Linus was signing his letter. "What are you doing, Linus?" asked Sally. Linus hesitated and then answered, "I'm writing the Great Pumpkin. He rises out of the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and brings bags of toys for children everywhere." "Oh, Linus," swooned Sally, "you say the cutest things." "Hey, Sally, would you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin together?" asked Linus.
Oh, Linus, you say the cutest things. I'd love to.
Linus went to mail his letter. "Really, Linus," cried Lucy, "just how do you think you're going to mail that letter anyway? You can't possibly reach the mailbox, and I'm not going to help you." Linus whipped his blanket in the air, hooked a corner of it onto the handle, and pulled open the mailbox. He then sent his letter flying in the air. Lucy watched as the letter slid into the open mailbox. "Like that," replied a triumphant Linus, and he walked away. Just then, Charlie Brown ran up, waving a piece of paper in his hand. "Hey," exclaimed Charlie Brown, "I got an invitation to Violet's Halloween party." Lucy rolled her eyes. "Oh, brother," she said with a sneer. "Charlie Brown, if you got an invitation, then it must have been a mistake." "Lucy, do you know if Linus is going to be at the party?" asked Sally. Lucy sighed. "Probably not. That blockhead of a brother of mine will be out in the pumpkin patch making a fool out of himself just like he does every year." "But maybe there really is a great pumpkin," said Sally. "Do I get to go trick-or-treating this year?" Sally asked her big brother. "Sure, Sally," replied Charlie Brown. Oh, boy, exclaimed Sally. "How do we do it?" "It's very simple," Lucy said. "All you have to do is walk up to a house and ring the doorbell. When the person opens the door, you say tricks or treats." Sally looked suspicious. "Are you sure that's legal?" "Oh, good grief," Lucy cringed. "Of course it's legal." Everyone met later that afternoon at Lucy's house in their costumes. "A person should always pick a costume which is in direct contrast to one's own personality," said Lucy as she lowered a witch mask over her face. Lucy looked Charlie Brown up and down. "Really, Charlie Brown? What are you supposed to be anyway?" That's Charlie. Charlie Brown responded from underneath the cut-up sheet. "A ghost, I guess. I had a little trouble with the scissors." A moment later, Snoopy pranced by, all dressed up for Halloween. "What is he supposed to be?" asked Lucy. "A pilot from World War I, replied Charlie Brown. "Now I've heard everything," cried Lucy. "Okay, everyone, we'll go trick-or-treating and then head over to Violet's for the Halloween party. Everyone got their bag to fill?" The trick-or-treaters passed by Linus, who was settled in the pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin. "Have you come to sing pumpkin carols?" asked a hopeful Linus. "Oh, good grief," cried Lucy, throwing her arms in the air. Lucy turned to Sally. "Well, are you coming with us or not?" Sally looked back and forth from Linus to her friends and then back at Linus. She went along, but at the last minute she ran back. "I'm glad you decided to stay," Linus said to Sally. "Do you really think he'll come?" asked Sally.
On Halloween night, Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all the children.
Meanwhile, the trick-or-treaters were starting their rounds in the neighborhood. Each time someone opened their door, everyone cried, "Tricks or treats!" "Could I have an extra piece for my blockhead of a brother, please?" said Lucy, flashing a toothy grin. "He couldn't come with us because he's sitting in a pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin." The trick-or-treaters worked their way through the neighborhood. After a few houses, they stopped to take stock of what they had received. "So embarrassing that I have to ask for extra candy for that blockhead Linus," said Lucy as she looked through her bag. "Looks like I got 5 more pieces of candy." "And I got a fudge bar," said Violet. "A pack of gum," added Peppermint Patty. "I got a rock," cried Charlie Brown. "Not again."
Good grief.
No one noticed that Snoopy was missing. Poor Charlie Brown. Snoopy had gone off by himself and climbed on top of his doghouse. He pretended it was a World War I airplane. Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a. The World War I flying ace fired his machine guns. Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a. A Red Baron fired back. "Curse you, Red Baron." The brave pilot went down with his plane. The World War I flying ace sneaked off into the night behind enemy lines. Curse you, Red Baron! He took shelter where he could, but he always pressed on toward his goal. When everyone finished trick-or-treating, they started walking to Violet's house for the party. On their way, they passed by the pumpkin patch. "Well, has the great pumpkin been by yet?" asked Violet with a smirk. "You missed trick-or-treating, and now you're going to miss the Halloween party," said Peppermint Patty. Sally stepped forward and replied, "You all think you're so smart. You just wait. The great pumpkin is going to show. Linus knows what he's talking about." With that, the kids left for Violet's party. Once at the party, everyone started to partake in the Halloween festivities. Some were carving pumpkins, while others were getting ready to bob for apples. "Out of my way," said Lucy, stepping up to the barrel. "Let me show you how it's done." After a few seconds, Lucy pulled her head out of the bucket, but instead of just pulling out an apple, she pulled out a beagle. "Ew, blach, blach," cried Lucy. "My lips touch dog lips. Gross!" Later, at the pumpkin patch, Linus and Sally were still waiting for the great pumpkin to make an appearance. Suddenly, a rustling noise came from the middle of the pumpkin patch. Both of them turned toward the noise.
There he is! There he is! It's the great pumpkin! He's rising up out of the pumpkin patch!
Linus was so overwhelmed with excitement, he fainted. Within seconds, Linus came to his senses and sat up. He looked around and asked, "What happened? Did I faint? Did he leave us any toys?" "I was robbed," Sally yelled. "Halloween is over and I missed it. You kept me up all night waiting for the great pumpkin and the only thing that came was a beagle." "When the great pumpkin comes, I'll still put in a good word for you," Linus yelled to Sally. But she was gone. "Oh, great pumpkin," moaned Linus, "where are you?" Later that night, Sally woke up, looked at her clock, and went to check on her brother. He was not in his room, so she went outside and found him sleeping in the pumpkin patch. She picked him up, carried him home, and put him to bed. The next morning, Charlie Brown and Linus met up. "Well, another Halloween has come and gone, and all I got was a bag full of rocks," said Charlie Brown. "I guess the great pumpkin never showed?"
Waiting for the great pumpkin isn't stupid. Just wait until next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see. I'll find a pumpkin patch that's real sincere. And I'll wait until the great pumpkin rises up with his bag of toys for all the children. Just you wait, Charlie Brown. You'll see.
And who knows? Maybe next year. And that's our story. I hope you liked it. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share with your friends. Bye until next time.